Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Evolving Skies, make sure you go ahead and check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your order using that code Omnipoke. For today's video, we are looking at Single Strike. It's a really solid archetype in the format right now. The introduction of Umbreon offers a lot of things here. It gives us some dark type coverage to help out against Shadow Rider as well as Dragapult, which has popped up in the format, as well as offering a really nice 3 energy attack cost with a couple colorless in here as well, which opens the door for us to play Capture Energy, which is really a helpful card when we are going to be a setup-based deck and we're trying to get as many Houndour down in the opening turns. This is really going to be helpful. Stephane Ivanoff has had a very good finish with the archetype and showed us the way with the 4-2 count of Urshifu VMAX, and it seems very unconventional because you're sort of having a strange number going on here, but the Single Strike Urshifu V is a very solid card in its own right, and combined with the Umbreon gusting approach, the impact blow with the 180 damage rather than the 160 from Max Darkness is just a much better number for us being able to threaten evolving V Pokemon with the damage buff of Single Strike Energy. So really, this is how we have the most aggressive turn 2 in the game, really, alongside things like Victini VMAX, where if we're firing on all cylinders and get 1 or 2 Houndooms out as well as turn attaching, we can be using that impact blow to deal 220 damage, which is great into every evolving Pokemon. Of course, we then have the Duck and now Fighting type coverages to help out against Jolteon, which has popped up recently, as well as things like Eternatus if they're still around. So 2 great type coverages in the game. Laser Focus is a great way to also get additional energies into play if you feel like your Urshifu is not going to get knocked out, and that can relieve some of the pressure on getting Houndooms into play. We only play 2 Fighting Energy, but even getting 1 on with the Laser Focus is good value. So I do think this is very good. So I'm very happy to see this split, this being your optimal starter in a lot of situations, going first and second, which is really awesome. And of course, because we get to play the Tower of Darkness, all of these additional Urshifu that otherwise just are seen as dead cards are usually able to be foddered away with the Tower to draw us additional cards. So you're maximizing your counts in having your best lead possible to be aggressive in every matchup. You have 2 very strong type coverages, and then it's fodder for the later game. So I really do like his counts. I think it's very intelligent how Stephane was able to build his list. The 2 VMAX in here offers up a big 1-hit KO option. The hint is in the name, G-Max 1 blow. We are going to try and reach the sort of 310-20 sort of realm here. Sorry, 330 I should say. With a ton of Single Strike energies powering up the Urshifu VMAX. So not just in here for the impact blow, we can launch up into a big VMAX for a 1-hit KO option, which is another great pivot in the list. So we can play a 2-prize game versus the likes of other Suicune players and Zacian Zamazenta builds just by trying to go for impact blows, and also the 1 blow can get through Zamazenta because you go through all effects. So that's a really nice option here, but we can also go 3-prize based if need be. Umbreon is obviously a good attacker, not just when hitting for weakness. It can be useful just as a 2-shot option, especially because you're buffing your damage output with the Single Strike Energy. Even the Umbreon V, the Moonlight Blade, seeing as though we will be using Houndooms, which places counters on our own Pokemon, is an option, again, as a 2-prizer. Just that little bit less damage than the Urshi, but still is a valid option. And again, with the number of colorless cost in the attacks, it really does open the door for capture. Outside of this, the only changes I really made to Ivanoff's list is adding in 2 copies of Piers. This was a card that I was playing in some of my earliest renditions of Umbreon, and I feel like, once again, because we are a setup-based deck, we are leaning into those captures, and we give ourselves a couple supporters now, which can give us extra options. It can be a pseudo Boss's Orders if we're going to be looking for Umbreon VMAX. Early game, it can be multiple Houndours because you can get a Houndour physically as well as a capture, which can then be attached to one of your attackers that can become another Houndour, which is really helpful. and make us have a bit of a more robust sort of turn 2 board when we are going second, which is great. And of course, we play Crobats in here to draw us cards in general, so Piers can be a guaranteed turn attachment as well as drawing a few more cards from Crobat. So there's a lot to like here, and I feel like it's much stronger than just having that 4th Marnie, which I think you will commonly see in other builds. The only other greedy cut I made was going down to 3 Urn of Vitality. It is a little bit greedy, especially when you are facing some of the sort of pure 2 prize matchups, especially heavy Zamazenta, where you may have to 1-blow more than 1 time. But I think in general, I get away with it a good amount. So we're sticking with 3 right now, knowing that it is a really important card to like not research away too carelessly. So we keep track of that. I think the only other sort of questionable sort of greedy card is going to be the Tool Jammer. It's not really like intuitive, but it's really just because there's so many toughness capes going around that even though we have a 1-blow option, a Jammer would be much better to stick onto a 2 prize Pokemon. We play this over Scrapper so that we can develop it in the opening turns, even, you know, like pre-research, pre-Marnie, that sort of thing, knowing we can get value later. And if it is on our VMAX, we can get multiple turns of value. We're not just shutting off capes, of course, we're shutting off also things like Air Balloon from archetypes. So yeah, very handy overall as a one-of. I think it's warranted, but this could easily be that extra supporter card that you want in the list. That could be the 4th Urn, that could be the 2nd Switch, that could be the 4th Incense. This is really the floating spot right now, and it's really mandatory, I think, at the minute, just because of the amount of cape of toughness, but as the meta develops, potentially, it could end up making way for some of these other cards that I would expect to come into the list. The only other card that I have really experimented with is 1 copy of Hiding Darkness Energy, and that's because we have Piers now, which gives us, again, more switching options. The Houndoom have 2 retreat, so just sort of paying 1 by turn attaching a Hiding Darkness and just having these as pivots can be good outs for you here and there, because we are a little bit low on the switching options with the 1 physical switch and the 2 Air Balloon. This can get quite dicey, so Piers into Hiding Darkness Energy could be an extra card that you could also consider in the list. But overall, I think Ivanoff did a fantastic job of identifying the importance of the Urshifu and how important that damage output is in the opening turns to give us maximum tempo while still having the Umbreon option for type coverage and for gusting. So let's jump into some games on the ladder. Looks like we're up against Isaiah, actually, in our first game. So we'll see what he is playing and see how it goes. But yeah, I've been enjoying Single Strike a lot. I've pulled quite a few Umbreon V and VMAXs from my packs. So naturally, I'm inclined to test this archetype quite a bit. And our start is very solid here. Like, straight away, you can see that we play Piers, and Piers looks like our best option turn 1, because it can get us multiple Houndours, and that's going to be super important. Our opponent just goes double Sobble, but I'm still wary of potential Suicune plays. So I am always going to Piers first here. We're always going Houndour, we're always going Capture. We do have both Fighting Energy in the deck, and we do have our 2nd VMAX, so I know that I can tower away a VMAX, which is nice. We have prized an Urn, definitely something to keep in mind. It means I basically can't ever research a hand that has Urn in it. But I'm pretty happy with this opening. Do I want to laser focus is my next question. If I laser focus, I get 1 less Houndour into play, but it's the upside of getting 2 energies and just having Impact Blow ready to rumble. Because I already have the Quick Ball, I feel like I can happily just get rid of a VMAX here. Actually, I might want to beat down next turn. Let's get rid of a Tower. Grab our next Houndour. We have... okay, that's fine. We've prized an Umbreon. We've prized a Houndoom. This is all fine. I think I will be using Laser Focus here because we're keeping our bench low enough that even a Suicune being bursted onto the scene won't KO us. So let's do this. We've got Urshifu powered up. We have potential tower plays. We have Capture that I could play onto the active and VMAX if I want to, because then I'm threatening a 1-blow, even if I do just beat down onto a Drizzile here or something like that. So that's pretty nice. We're 1 energy away from knocking out Suicunes with Impact Blow as well, if we just want to remain a 2-prizer. I could tower for 2 cards, see if we hit a better Pokemon to capture onto. They are going to Shady Dealing for a Quick Ball here. Let's see, they can't get rid of a Water. And yeah, it does look like it's a Suicune Ludicolo build. The Ludicolo buffing that damage output quite a lot. Do they have any other discard synergies here to actually get a Melanie play rolling? They can reload their Drizzle and draw an additional card with their Fleet-Footed here. Maybe that is going to be their salvation. If they draw another Quick Ball or a Bucket or a Water Energy off the Fleet-Footed, they can then Drizzle from the next piece. They're just going to go for a Marnie, actually, so they don't have the option to Melon here, so it's going to be a turn off attacking and just setting their own board up by the looks of things. Which is not necessarily bad for us. They do have 1 attachment and just a Marnie. Houndour's pretty solid, but we'll see how we do. Still do okay. We get the Houndoom option, so I could just Impact Blow. And it then puts us open to finding a Jammer as a KO option. Do I have all 4 of these in the deck? I do. So I could double Houndoom here, get rid of an Urn, and Crobat to dig for Switch Out as a potential option as well. I think I'm meant to hold the Urn, though, because we have prized 1. So I think I just get rid of 1 of these Incense, bench the other Urshi, and just Crobat for 5. I think that's going to be our strongest move here. I don't want to Single Strike Raw first, and I know that we have 3 in the deck, so I'm not too concerned. Because if I do find a Tool Jammer, I could just swing it active. We actually do find the Jammer. So that's insane. How do I want to do this? Yeah, I'll put it to the bench, then I'll turn Attach active. I could hit him with the Marnie as well. I don't want to have a hand with Research and Urn, but it's kind of nice to hold an Urn when the hand's like this. I think I'm just going to hold everything and take the prizes. Nice to get the initiative against the Suicune. They do have a Water in the discard pile now, though, so they can still respond here. We powered up the benched Urshi, so we had 220 hit points to stay out of range of a Suicune, unless he was able to Ludicolo, though. That is something to bear in mind, even when you're trying to keep your board tight against Suicune, the Houndooms put damage counts on yourselves. So you do have to be a little bit careful there. Typically, Suicune is good at trading into you, but our early Jammer, like, that's the greed one-of, right? We play the greed one-of for exactly those moments, and that really did pay off. Okay, we have a double Urshi start. Not much else going on, no captures in sight, nothing like that. So those are cards that we're really looking to find. Captures and Quick Balls would be great. Looks like we're up against a Victini Hammers. Not necessarily the easiest matchup. We do get some mulligans, though, because they only play 4 basics, right? Or 5 basics. We rip a Tower, which is going to be important. I think I should be tossing a Houndoom here. Victini really can't KO Houndooms because they have too many hit points. So that sounds like a good thing to do. I can't actually get an Urshifu going this turn. Or next turn, I should say. So I shouldn't really play into his hammers, right? I should just hold everything. Hold everything. Next turn, capture onto Umbreon and get double Houndour developed. He takes the 2 prizes, either here or here, where the energy is. But then I can be hitting into him. So with that in mind, I should be benching this. Maybe I can just attach bench, actually. That's probably my best maneuver. Because I want to capture Umbreon anyway next turn. Okay, that's fine. We'll do this. Hands like this really make you miss Pokemon. They're going to path. They're going to get the energy drop. They do rip a Marnie from the gear. And they are going to go ahead and use that. So we do find 1 Houndour, but this isn't great. Okay, now it's good. I think I need to hold the switch, but I will Crobat for the 4 here. Keep Tower open for this Urshifu. I still want my last space to be a Houndour, which we find lots of. Can draw some cards. Don't really need to research here. I don't think I want to evolve either of these. So I think we're just holding everything. Yep. Incense for Houndoom next turn, pretty much always. Hopeful that Tower stays in play. They're going to go ahead and Incense into Altaria. And they're going to Yell, Grunt, and Energy. They're going to evolve up. Do they have energy to boot? They're going to Tempting Tune to the top. Just going to be a research. Sounds good. And they're just going to wiggle with Spreading Flames. Okay. Houndoom's a really good draw for us. I think I was actually meant to Tower first. I got ahead of myself when I saw this extra Houndoom. Because now I think I just have to Impact Blow this turn. But it's actually not that bad. It makes use of our Urn, which I'm kind of into. We know they're researching, so we can hold all the other cards. We get a solid 220 in on him. They're just going to research, look for attachment, swing, take 2 prizes. But trying to go a 2-3-3 route is really good against Victini, right? Because even if he Gust KOs like a Crobat or one of these bench sitters, he can't Gust KO Houndoom for game. So as long as I can evolve these 2 up, it's not a problem. We can make him go through some hard prizes. They're gonna Jammer Hammer us. Oh Lord, he coming. They need to put Raihan to the top, pretty sure. They put Boss to the top. So they must have Raihan in hand. Or they're really hoping that we just don't have some good stuff here. So I definitely want to beat down this turn. That is our best option. I think I doom one time, do this. This can come down because the jammer's going to be turned off eventually. Well, this turn I'll turn it off. So I still can put this here if I'm forced to impact blow. I need to draw an energy for turn, so I just want to research here. Keep one raw open. And that's worked out great for us. Three nice prizes to take. They decide to go into a Victini even though Altaria has free retreat. You'll love to see it. Let's see if they had the foresight to use a Raihan. Yeah, they already had Raihan in hand. Sounds good. Yep. There's the Heat Fire. There's the Tempting. I'm just going to Flare Shot. So what's stopping me from just hitting with Beat Down again? Raihan's the only acceleration, right? So I don't need to panic here. 2, 4, 6, 8. The 180 isn't a great number. I'm just trying to think how I close this game best. And it's probably developing a VMAX to just gust this Altaria. Obviously I need to get rid of the stadium, but... I'm going to Marnie us both. It's kind of risky because I'm going into a lower hand size, but I'm digging deeper into the deck. And we'll just beat down. Puts him in a fairly awkward spot. Don't have to go chasing the prizes here with a one blow. It puts me in just a worse spot overall. Hammers are basically the only way he makes comebacks now. Let's see the V bullet for 60. That's not too scary. Research is a pretty good draw here. How many stadiums played? 2. I think I should just hold game in hand. He's not able to Marnie if he's accelerating energy. So they are going to be able to take the KO here, but we just have game. Let's not forget to replace the stadium. There you go. All right, another decent game. Let's get one more. So far we've been cruising with the deck. We've seen a couple good moments for Piers already as well. Piers is a card that I really like. For a setup deck, when you're just getting all of your outs into play, it's just great. Like the only card it can't, like Piers can't find you is Urshifu VMAX, because technically you can get the V through the capture. I just like having a game plan with a deck like this. Inbuilt gusting is just a really nice feature as well, obviously. A lot to like. I think it's just a nice package. And you can basically rock up to any tournament with this deck and not have to worry about metagaming so much. Because like, even if you come up against things like Leafeon, I think Leafeon's probably your scariest matchup because we played 2 balloons as like, and 1 switch as our switch outs. And you can't really put Umbreon into play. But even then, like, if you just come out the gates early and just like one-shot a Leafeon, you can still just get super ahead. So we have a really nice start. We have double Houndour, we have Air Balloon and Marnie. So I'm pretty happy to see this. We're going to get the benefit of some additional cards. Wheezing and Raihan means it's probably the Wheezing Sableye Inteleon deck. Most likely, yeah. So shutting off our abilities is annoying, but we can try and be quite 2 prize heavy in this matchup. So hopefully that's going to be helpful at making the Sableye game plan that little bit weaker. It's one of those. This incense is weird. I want to. Yeah, I'll grab a Urshifu VMAX here. I think that's my best option. I don't want to take any more Houndooms out the top of my deck, but I want to find basics and captures, right? So I want to improve my Marnie odds. So we'll do this. 2 Houndooms at the bottom is kind of worrying. We do find some good basics, and I can quick ball for Crobat for this one option to do stuff. I actually think I prefer the guaranteed energy from Piers than a research here. I promise I'm not doing this just to prove a point about Piers, but with the hand, I think it's actually better. Guaranteeing Houndoom and energy drops is pretty important. We do hit energy as well, so I can laser focus here into the coughing. And just hope that I have my other fighting in the deck, which we do. Okay, nice. Obviously, all the Houndooms get shut down by Wheezing coming into play. But we are holding Boss. I have Boss Impact Blow as an option if they attach to a Sableye. They're just going to Marnie here, actually. We hit energy, we hit tower. One nice thing about our draw engine is that it's not an ability, of course. We can just carry on with our day. They're going to quick ball out more Sobs. Do they get any Drizzle? Are they going to be threatening Intel? No, they're just going to be poisoning. Let's tower away Houndour. So Urshifu VMAXing. I can take the KO because they're fighting weak with beatdown. We have 4 counters, so 6, 12, 18, 24 is what the Sableye would be at. So I think I should be doing this to preserve my energy. Get us unpoisoned. I want to develop another Ursh, I think. Actually, I've gone through so many, and I have a capture in hand. I should probably be grabbing an Umbreon just because it's got more colorless in its attack cost. We'll evolve up this guy. I can't use it, obviously. But we'll just beat down here. Tool Jammer, not the best of prize cards to take. Let's see what they're going to do next. They didn't have the strongest of starts. They have Quick Ball. Do they play Crobat in their list? I'm not really sure if they do. Oh, they're getting rid of a level ball, so their hand isn't bad because they're passing up a Drizzile here. Maybe they're just grabbing the Sableye, then Drizziling for some stuff. Okay, so they do have Crobat. They're going to go digging. They hold a card in hand, so maybe that's another out to Drizzile. Yep. They're going to go for a deal. Sounds like a deal to me. They're going to grab Quick Ball. They're also going to get their next Drizzile out by the looks of things. Did they put a basic energy in the discard? Yeah. The KO took the basic energy for them. So Raihan is on the table if they want to come in with some claws. They're actually just going to Raihan to the Coughing. They're going to evolve up. They're going to mention another Coughing. And now we see the Quick Ball. Grabbing a Sob. Let me see the Severe Poison. So I'm pretty sure I'm most afraid of his Sobble, actually. I think those are scarier than the Drizziles, because they're so focused on ping damage with the Drizziles that I think this is the best thing to take out. It opens up a Houndoom as well for us. Let's just beat down. Let's see where they want to go from here. Hopefully starving them from deals is going to be good for us. They're going to go for a boss's orders play. And they're just going to poison us up. So I could VMAX and just to get rid of the poison again, but now we're in range of claws, so I think I shouldn't be going into 2-3 prize Pokemon. I think that's the bait. I could just tear away the Umbreon. And just take the prize. I'm going to Piers just to get more things out the deck, more energies. We're doing 16 already, so I don't need to overcommit here. We'll hold the Houndoom for Tower. I think we go into the next Coughing. We'll see a Quick Ball now. Get rid of a research, so the hand is by no means bad. Oh, they're just gonna concede. Okay, fine. Well, that's a clean sweep for Single Strike. I do really like the archetype. I think it's just a really neat deck. You don't have much space for creativity. Like I said, we've wiggled in space for 2 Piers to give my own personal touch to the deck. Tool Jammer is like a one-of space that you can fiddle around with, but ultimately you need to play a high tower right now. There's too many paths in the game. And it's just a really good draw engine in general. I'm a huge fan of the 4 Urshifu. I still think it's our most aggressive lead. And we saw some of that already with some laser focusing and stuff like that, which is solid. The VMAX has to be at 2 for both, I think, just because we're leading into researches. So 2 is kind of the minimum count there, and you want both of them. You still need to play boss, even though you do play Umbreon. So I think all in all, pretty much most of these spaces are nailed. I think if you don't trust the Piers, those are your slots if you want to get creative on your own. But that creativity could just be going back to a Marnie, back to an Urn, back to an Incense, back to a Switch, those sorts of cards. So let me know what you think about Single Strike. I'm a really big fan of it. I think it's just one of these decks that you can just churn games with, and I think the format's in a decent spot for it, actually, with Umbreon capitalizing on Dragapult and Shadow. Dragapult can still be awkward because they can KO Houndours and keep you at bay, but I think it's pretty reasonable. And then the Urshifu is really good into Jolteon right now, as well as any other dark archetypes out there. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. But that's it for Single Strike. Umbreon is still a really good card. It's not quite the same splashable card that I thought it was going to be in this format. I was expecting Umbreon to be splashed in with a ton of other VMAXs, but turns out just being on its own is where it's best. So yeah, I'll see you in another video tomorrow. Cheers.